Collin Anthony from Seattle, Washington, and this is Flavortown. So motor and transmission are matching, 1948. The motor was rebuilt by DC choppers out of Arkansas, and just got it back and put it in here for this show. Frame's a wishbone frame. I think it's 49. Kind of a little bit of molding on it. I love the crusty paint and crusty bikes. The paint was done by Nathan Sykes down in Oregon. Some of my favorite pieces too are windshield. Serves no purpose, but it looks cool. And I kind of want to do light purple to match the glasses on it, which is like an old doorknob, and this has like a mineral in it that changes color when it hits UV. So the longer it sits in the sunlight, it kind of changes color, which is cool. The inlay in the sissy bar, just kind of made that last minute with a little Dremel and some plexiglass. Call it Flavortown, you know, Guy Fieri. As he says, that's gangster.
So my name is Ryan Burdick from Cortez, California. Obviously Panhead. Motor was built by painter Joe. He built it in the early 2000s and it sat for almost 20 years till I got the motor in training. And I got the frame and fender from my buddy who had it in a shed for about 25 years. The frame is a knuckle frame. I think somebody built it in Burbank, California in the late 60s, and a guy named Art Fullington supposedly was the one that painted it, and he was a pretty well-known painter in the day. Went with the 33 front end, did 10 over tubes, and then I didn't have a tank, so I had to cut the tunnel and did a really crappy job to make it match the rest of the bike. But the sissy bar, my buddy had, that he had since the early 70s, so he passed it down to me. But everything else I ended up having to make, the exhaust, all the tabs, all this stupid stuff. It wasn't really a heavy fat bike to build. I don't know how well it'll hold up, but the bike always seemed kind of Ed Rothy. So I went with the kind of rat pink, like over the top, kind of tall bars, tall pipes look, just because it's fun. It feels, when I'm riding it, it definitely feels like super 60s chopper. So, and it's ungodly loud, which is even cooler.
My name's Casey Weiss from Boise, Idaho, born and raised, and this is my 78 Shovelhead. Had lots of help over the last few years with this bike to get it to where it's at. The guys at Rawhide helped me do a good portion of this framework. So we took the stock frame, we went up 4 inches with it, and we were able to keep the stock rake when we did it. Gives it kind of a nice aggressive stance, but it also makes it super comfortable for me to sit on and to ride, which is awesome. One of my all-time favorite things on this bike, and the one thing I was kind of not sure how it was going to turn out, but I'm happy it did, is so this tank was actually original 79 Sportster tank. The logo layout is the same as the original 79 Sportster. We were able to redesign the logo, keep the same font and everything, but change it to the Brother Speed with the 69 on there, which was huge. The way it turned out is beyond one of my favorite things. Throttle cable holder is actually a belt key holder. I was trying to figure out something to hold that throttle without doing zip ties or something everybody else does. And found this old set of pipes, and they were cool. They looked like they had the mufflers in them, and always wanted to run those, but they were just beat up beyond belief. So guys at Rawhide, we kind of sat down, we talked about it, and they were like, well, let's do something where we get that similar look, but we keep it modern, we keep it somewhat effective, and we're still getting good back pressure and all that. Just the way they did, cleaned up the seams, everything on them. Pretty stoked with how they turned out, and they're slowly polishing up pretty nice too.